A new scandal is brewing at Hampton Creek, makers of the infamous vegan mayonnaise alternative Just Mayo. This time, the scandal appears to be brewing within, rather than coming from an outside source like the American Egg Board. Let's see if they can clean up the mess. I'll put a link to this article in the description, How Hampton Creek Sold Silicon Valley on a Fake Mayo Miracle, published September 22, 2016. The point here being that Hampton Creek is not small potatoes. They have venture capital from people like Peter Thiel, and the total investments in the company have reached almost $220 million. Their projections are astronomical, and in the latest round of funding, they carried a valuation of $750 million. Now, if I were a shark on Shark Tank, the first thing I'm going to do is attack your valuation and sales projections. However, if your existing sales are substantial and consistently increasing, you might stand a chance. But Josh Tetrick's Hampton Creek is from Silicon Valley, where they bend the rules. Who says you can't use some of that venture capital investment to bankroll a secret buyout program where you send contracted employees into multiple stores in plain clothes to buy the whole shelf of your own product? This could have the effect of creating an artificial demand for your product as well as bloating your sales figures. And since this is a vegan, sustainable food company, you might not experience any heartburn.
What we saw with Hampton Creek is that they were purchasing 20 jars per store, which in many cases was the entire shelf. And then the remarkable part that didn't have to do with testing is that after the purchases, they would then have contractors call the store locally and pretend that they were customers. We have scripts that the contractors read on the phone in which they pretended to be customers. Some of them had identities as if they were a caterer or a teacher planning for a school event, and they would have them call the local store asking for that product so that then the store managers would order more.
At this point, there's no way to know how much money was spent on the buybacks, but it's somewhere between $77,000 and $1.4 million. It looks like those sales projections didn't hold up either, at least in 2014. Enough so that well-known tech investor Ali Partovi, who came on as an investor in 2014 and later as a senior executive, decided to leave the company. Partovi warned CEO Josh Tetrick about deceiving investors, but somehow, after Partovi left, Tetrick was able to right the ship. Or so it seemed for a little while. In August of 2016, the SEC and the Justice Department launched probes of Hampton Creek for possible security violations and criminal fraud. As recently as October 21, 2016, we see that the board of Hampton Creek is said to be conducting an internal investigation over the buyback allegations. They've hired one of the Big Four accounting firms to investigate the claims that were made in the Bloomberg story I referenced before. Apparently, they're looking at every bleeping receipt that the company has created. Instead of being satisfied with modest organic growth, it looks like Hampton Creek used genetically modified numbers when they cooked the books. Which is a shame, because I wanted to see this company succeed, and they still may. They have some ambitious projects like the eggless scrambled egg. What do you think? Will Hampton Creek survive these allegations of fraud? Is all of this reporting just a media backlash from the previous American Egg Board scandal? Let me know what you think in the comments down below.